Afternoon.
Hello.
Well, we had good meetings today. Take a look at the game and learn what we can learn. There's a lot of stuff that we need to take out of this game in a lot of areas, and we saw it as a real great matchup and battle. We like the win because we respect Carolina and the way that they play and their style and the the way they've been playing at home and all of that allows us to take a look at this game. We knew that they were good, and we were fortunate to get a win and get out of there. So it's just another one for the books for us in Carolina and all that. Real frustrated by we had some great opportunities to get the ball away from them and could have changed the game. Balls all over the ground, and we just couldn't come up with it. We liked the attempts that we were making, but we just couldn't get the football. So it came down to who was going to get the ball last and have a chance to do something with it. And fortunately, we were in that spot, and offense came through. It was a really good burst at the end of the game for the offense, and the consistency in the last 4 or 5 drives really showed up and gave us a chance to get a win. Defense rose up when we needed them to, and gave us enough ops, and we got the good kick when we needed. And so it was a good win, and on we go.
You've used the word fun a lot this year, talking about this group, this team, this season. One particular about this year has been fun to you?
There's just a real upbeat air about this team that they're real hungry to learn. They're hungry for the challenges. They've just been real competitive and throughout, and they've enjoyed the challenges. And they have not allowed themselves to going downward at any time. They keep looking to the future and looking to what's up and what's coming, and it's just been a really good group to work with.
What's the advantage of the package with Delano, Tedrick, and Bradley all on the field together?
Well, when they have a chance to take a spot for the linebacker is what happens. So we get a DB on the field for coverage and the agility and that kind of the change in the mobility of that guy, that position.
Is there a coaching point to the 5 fumbles, or that's just luck that you didn't get any of them?
No, we were getting after the ball pretty well, and they had one exchange that they mishandled, but for the most part, we were getting after the ball pretty good. Every one of them was a forced fumble.
I mean, not recovering them, is that just luck,
Oh,
or is there a coaching point?
I'm sorry. I thought, there's some teaching in there. We're definitely, there's some teaching in there, and particularly in the piles, and all that. We critiqued every one of them, that there was an opportunity here or there. They were, they got a couple fortuitous bounces, and I think that's the right use of that word. But they got some pretty good hops, and so they were fortunate.
It seemed like Dodge Jones played his best game of the year, maybe. What his, I guess, did he? And what did you think of how
he was active? Yeah, he did a nice job. He made a nice play on the goal line, and he got a lot of play time. Got in there, and he's been an active player for us. He's still been a young guy coming on in terms of his consistency that we're working with, but he's active and he's long and got the good reach and stuff that gives him a chance to make some special plays. Gets his hands up real well and all that. So it's a guy we look forward to seeing him getting around the ball. He does a nice job there.
He was a healthy scratch for you for a number of weeks there. What kind of flip to get him up into the lineup?
Matchups that we had at the time. We thought that we could match him up a little bit, and with the style that we were playing against, gave him a chance, and he did some good things, and so he's held on to it.
Obviously, Chris, had the highlight with the hurdle yesterday, and he's done that a couple times. In general, would you rather your guys stay on the ground, or do you mind them kind of taking a risk like that?
No, I don't mind. Go for it. I like the mentality that it takes to do that is why he's like he is. And he's been in the air before. Not quite like the one he had, but he realizes that he still has to control the ball, all the way throughout. So, he never has planned, I'm sure, to flip, but it looked like he'd been working on it, to tell you the truth. But no, I don't mind. I don't want him to hold back. I don't want to inhibit him. Let him go.
Do the fumbles concern you, or is that product of how he runs?
Yeah, well, there's some coaching there too now. There's some stuff. He missed, kind of lost track of the guy that attacked the ball, but that can happen other times too. And he was a little loose right there. So, there's some definite coaching. We coach that as hard as we coach anything in our whole program.
Any injuries from the game?
A couple things, I don't know. Trey Madden is a sternum issue that he got. We'll see how that goes. But otherwise, we got to wait a couple days to see how the guys come back. Nothing out of the ordinary.
Doug came out just fine, the groin?
Yeah, I can't imagine that he's not sore. That was it's extraordinary that he played. He had a groin pull that was legit, and he just managed it and made it through the week. And I don't know anybody that's played with the pull like that, and he just could do it. So you got to treat each guy. And he's an extraordinary competitor.
What needs to change going forward with the run defense?
We made a lot of errors, and it's concerning because we're not a real complex system. But when I talked a lot about the discipline of it, it's experience. Playing this system without KJ in the lineup. KJ's played these guys a lot, and he and Bobby have really intricate roles, and it showed up that that there was some errors and some misreads and stuff like that hasn't happened in years past. That gave him some stuff, but I don't want to take anything away from them. Those guys were on it. That was a beautiful game plan they had, and a nice job with their quarterback and with McCaffrey. They did a great job.
What about McCaffrey's play made him so difficult to?
He's tremendous in space, and he's just every step he takes is full speed, full go. And if you give him some room, he can hurt you just with the smallest of plays, just dump offs and little passes in the flat and stuff like that. He maximized every one of them. So he's very sudden, very assured that he's doing the right thing, and he makes things happen. So he's in traffic. We handle him inside, for the most part, but he made it through on a couple big plays too. So you got to give him a lot of credit. He's a fantastic competitor and player.
Fair to say that 59-yard run by him was sort of an error?
Big mistake. Yeah, there's about 3 of them on that play.
Just assignment?
No, just kind of reads and stuff. Is
there any kind of common thing you seen
No.
between that game and the Rams Chargers stuff?
No.
Not being able to get to Cam, what do you think was going on there?
The attention to the running game. Most of his stuff was play passes, and they did a nice job changing their actions. And we were really trying to hang into doing things right on the running game, and kept us focused there more than transitioning into the pass rush. And the variety of things they did was just really well done.
Russell got sacked a couple times in the first half, but it looked like the pockets were pretty clean in the second half there.
Yeah, he had really good protection throughout. They caught us with a couple pressures, and we missed a couple, and we tried to do something we shouldn't have done, and we got caught. But they pressure a lot. They're one of the more committed teams in terms of numbers, so they're going to hit some once in a while, and their guys are really good, so they make good use of their heat they bring. We could have had a really good game pass pro, and if a couple mistakes that we made, but they make that happen too. It's a good team there that makes that happen to you.
With Baldwin, how much did you weigh holding him out for the long run, for having multiple?
Yeah, we went right up to the nub. He was convinced he could do it, and he worked out really hard in pregame to show that he was ready. And he felt fine throughout. I checked with him a couple times during the game, and he didn't have any issues at all. So he did well.
Did you wave off a pitch count, or just played it by ear?
Yeah, Nate took care of that. He was playing, according to how he was doing and all that, and just rotated him. Kept a kind of somewhat of a rotation, but he played a lot.
Different topic, but this week players are going to get to wear the custom cleats for their different causes. Just the league's done this a few years now. What are your thoughts on players getting to kind of?
I think it's fun. It's a fun aspect of the game. Players have fun with it, and you can see how much fun the players are having with demonstrations and stuff. And it's a good lively part of the game. I haven't declared what I'm doing yet, in case you were wondering.
Is it good to see a lot of players?
Nobody really cares, but
a lot of players have causes that are pretty important. Is it just good to see the way different players get involved?
Particularly when they do have the serious causes that they're fighting for and all that, and it's a good opportunity to make a statement that's followed up. It's not just the game; it's kind of the involvement with the groups and the things that they're supporting and all that's really good.
Do you expect J.D. McKissick to be in the mix for this?
There's a chance, yeah. We'll show you how what we're thinking here during the week. I'm looking forward to him coming back.
Trey Flowers, his overall play, saw the
play on third down, but his overall game, what would you say?
He had a very effective game in really making his hits and tackles, and he had the ball on the ground a couple times. He's really shown that he's a ball hawk. He gets it, and it's really exciting to see a young player have a knack for the, attacking the football. He's if you looked over the course of the season, he's had a number of balls he's knocked out. So really proud of that. It really helps our team, approach and everything that we stand for. We're trying to get that football. But he had a good, solid game. Crucial tackle down by the goal line, and on a third down play, and the big one before the field goal was it was a pure one-on-one shallow crossing route. They tried to pick him off, and he felt his way through it, made a great play, and tried to make a play on the ball, and made the tackle. It was a really terrific play at the time.
Is that something you all saw, his ability in college when he scattered the tackle?
Yeah, because he was a safety, you saw him more involved with making plays all over the field. So there was never a question about his willingness to go make the hits and the ability to make tackles and stuff. He was an aggressive player, and so we just figured that was going to carry over. Even though he's a corner, he wasn't going to change his mode of playing, which has been the case.
Is there any update on KJ at all, and what his status is?
He's still working at his rehab. He's got a process he's working on right now, but no updates about the timing of it. Sorry.
Your run game yesterday, was it as simple as the focus that Carolina had on stopping it, or did you feel like there were assignment errors?
No, we didn't have errors as much as we just weren't quite as effective as we wanted to be against them. But again, I give them a lot of credit. They really went after it. They stunted well. They did a couple new things that we had to adjust to, and they're just really good. All their players are strong and physical, and they just did a nice job of committing to it. And that allowed us to throw the football like we did. So, you give and you get, a little bit there, and so we worked out fine. Honestly, I don't know. There's been so much talk about the run game, and that because we need to get that rolling, and we've talked about it so much. But we've always designed our approach to be balanced, and so that means that when you have the opportunity to run it, you run it. You have the opportunity to throw it, you throw it, but you have to really commit to the running game to make that happen the way we're doing it. And so the fact that it went this week and Russell threw for 330 something, and had a really efficient day was, that's going to happen sometimes, and thankfully we were there and we had it.
For 4 of your most explosive plays to come on third or fourth down, the touchdown to Tyler coming on third down, how critical did that ultimately end up being?
Yeah,
You could produce in those situations.
Those were huge plays, and Russ has got some pretty good numbers there, fourth quarter numbers and numbers when they're pressuring him. You guys want to check into that and see how he's been effective. He's performed really well in difficult situations, and has a lot to do with the guys up front giving him the chance. The pocket was so clean on a couple of those plays. He was able to maneuver and stay with his eyes downfield and didn't have to take off. Was really a tribute to the protection. And there was a number of plays like that in the game on the big plays where the guys really came through. The touchdown to Tyler, the big play to David early in the game. David, the other one, and again on the final play, the big play that he made to Tyler again. Those were all really spaced out well for him, and he was able to move and get, find the area to make the play. It was really well done.
You mentioned a couple weeks ago Bradley kind of taking a turn with his knee. Has that shown up in his play the last couple games?
Yeah, it really has. Yeah, that has not been an issue, and that's he's really grateful for that. He really helps us. That was a fantastic cover and play on the interception. He played the play perfectly. Timing was great, and then just the skill to tip it and make the catch was huge. We needed the turnover. We needed all of that, and we've been looking for it for a bit. But he's a playmaker. Yeah, and he's feeling pretty good.
You mentioned this morning on the radio about benefiting from the red zone because the field is compressed. What's the vulnerability in the midfield or the full length? What is it?
Well, you take a look at the field. If you're on the 15-yard line, you can only throw a ball 25 yards deep, so you don't have as much space to cover, and so that's the obvious part of it. And you have to shore up all aspects of your defense down there, and if you adapt properly, then you can take advantage of it. It doesn't really change the running game much. There's a little bit of an effect that the safeties are a little closer, because of the depth, but you just gotta be right. You gotta be on it because teams are so strict about the way they attack down there, and they really always have game plans for you and your style, and you have to stay a step ahead of them and all that. There's a lot that goes into what's going on in the red area.
Is that a Function of the inexperience in the secondary as far as being able to.
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes it is. Depends.
You guys, last year notwithstanding, you guys have tended to be pretty good in December. Do you know why that is, or do you have an idea why that is?
You know, the one area, because it's carried over from years before too, you know, that I've thought of is that our young players are committed too early, and by the time we get to the halfway point, they get better. And you get down to the last 4 games in the fourth quarter of the season, they're better, you know, and that helps you in more than just the fact that they're play, but they also play more and allow other players to have, you know, get some breaks and rotate and stuff like that. I think it keeps us strong. You know, and here, you know, Russell's been such a good finisher. Look at his games and look at the numbers in the fourth quarter and the fourth quarter of the season and stuff like that. You know, his performance has been really stellar as we go down the stretch, and that's important too, obviously. You know, I don't know. There's other reasons maybe. You guys try to guess. I don't know.
The sense that Tyler had on the last one, to know that there was going to be space behind him to take that rep deep, and the way he's progressed this year to be able to create something like that out of a play. How does that speak to where he's come along and the player that he is now at this point to be able to?
Well, you know, think about it, we've all watched him in so many different situations as a receiver, but also in punt returner, kick returner. He's an extraordinarily gifted football player. He has great sense. He has great awareness and spatial awareness, timing, feel. He has all of that, you know, and then he's so quick and he can take advantage of things in such quick fashion. It's kind of just an instinctive, you know, makeup that he has, and that gives him the really big, almost an advantage at times that he can make things happen, you know, and he does special things. I think the part of his game that's really shown up this year is he's just been more physical on his catches, and he's been able to make plays with guys hanging all over him, and more so than in the past, and he's turned in some fantastic plays. But he's always been really instinctive, you know, and this isn't like somebody taught him that. He came here with that, you know, and that's what made him such a special player at K-State too, you know, and a go-to guy, big numbers, you know, great savvy, and he's really he's also a really disciplined player. He's a great route runner and really precise with the things he does. So you put all that together, he's a handful. And he's hard to deal with, even though he's a little guy. He's hard to deal with. So.
On him too, is the touchdown one of those aspects too, when he's breaking it from the inside?
Yeah, it was great feel, you know. He whipped that break out and just right in the right spot and found the little hole right there. Russ threw a marvelous throw. It's a ball right there that we try to throw low. He threw it low so he, you know, as far away from the defender as possible. It was just beautifully done by those two guys, and Russ had a really nice opportunity, and that pocket got washed to the right, so he had a big space to throw the ball. He threw as hard as he could, I think. You know, it looked like he was throwing a fastball, you know, with his follow-through and all that. Threw as hard as he could, right on the money, and Tyler makes a great catch.
When you guys were scouting David Moore in college, what do you remember being the skill of his that most stood out?
First thing I remember is the film was really grainy. It looked like, yeah, it was. He was really good after the catch, really good running in space, and he looked like he was stronger than the other guys he was playing with, and he's a very strong player. He doesn't look like a big guy, but he weighs 216 or something, 217, whatever it is, and he's not jostled or knocked around very easily. You know, he's really physical, and so that's why you've seen him on the balls up the sidelines and with guys hanging on him. He doesn't have any problem making those plays and going up. He's really strong too, you know, and. We didn't know how much that would carry over, you know, because he looked like he was bigger than the guys he was playing with, but he's just a strong dude, and he makes his plays. He also demonstrated, again, really natural instincts on how to play that ball, that last one, you know, to not show that the ball was coming and you know, delay the opportunity to, you know, let the guy that's covering know what's going on. That's big time savvy, and he pulled it off great.
I was going to ask about that. Is that something that you typically see from a older, more experienced receiver as opposed to?
Yeah, you could say that. However, guys kind of either have that or they don't. I mean, that special awareness, they can learn that to some degree, but David's just a natural ball player. It's like we talk about Tyler, they just have great instincts, and so they just pop up for those guys that are really good at it at the right times. They know when to use what they got, and sometimes that's getting up off their feet, sometimes that's holding, making space. It's going up and getting the ball and taking it away. You've seen David take the ball away from the defenders at times. It's stuff they work on and they practice it, but some guys they already know, and they. Sometimes the guys like that, when they see examples of things from other people, from other players, they can copy stuff because they can just make sense of it, and other players don't and they can't, and so David's a very special athlete.
How does a guy from a school that small even get on your radar in the first place?
Gosh, that's the networking of the personnel department. We don't want to miss anybody, so there's no school that we don't check in on in some way or. And hopefully we don't miss, kids coming out of junior college that aren't going to four-year schools. I mean, we try to find everybody, and so that's a long, deep network of communication and hard work and stuff that, our personnel people are really good at. And we've always been really good at finding guys at the smaller schools and all of that. And it's because they're tireless and they got, a real competitive way about them.
When it's 3 blockers out in front of a screen and just Bobby Wagner there, and you're seeing it unfold, what are you thinking?
Yeah, he felt he had the advantage. It was only 3. That was an incredible play. That was an incredible play against a great back, that has all of the cuts and all the instincts and all of that. I don't know how he pulled that off, but he did. And at the time, it was a big, big play. I don't know how much other people noticed that, but we certainly appreciated it, and you guys do too, I guess. That was incredible instincts because he had to set it up. He had to make it happen, with what he had to work with, which he was really at a disadvantage.
Turner caught a pass yesterday.
Yeah.
What have you kind of seen him the last couple of weeks?
He had a great week, and we had the sense that he's going to be up and going, and so the fact that he made a play early in the game wasn't a surprise. You saw Russ went right back to him again, and we didn't get back to him after that, but he's doing really well, really competitive in all aspects of his game. He's a blocker. He's helping in special teams some. He's just a good competitive kid. He was a kid that got hurt coming out of school and kind of was under the radar a little bit. And we felt fortunate when we got him to come here, and he's doing well.
On Moore's catch, it was over an inexperienced DB who come in to replace Jackson early on. How does the conversation among you and Brian and Russ work when there's a new?
I think pretty typically, like you might think, okay, they got a new guy in, and seriously, there's a new guy in there. Let's check him. We're checking his numbers, and we had a plan with knowing his background of play, but we took a look at it and we thought this looks like an opportunity. Let's see if we can make him make his plays against us in this game, and so that's a pretty common conversation. It's just it's not atypical at all, and just got to make sure that we hit it. We see the guy and we try to take advantage of it when you can.
That emboldened you on a 4th down and 3 to go for it.
Yep. Yes, it did.
With so many new faces on the team this year, are you kind of excited to see how they handle the 4th quarter of the season?
Oh, yes, I am. I really am. And then we're all over this topic. It's so crucial that we're on the right vein, here with how we approach the games that are coming up, and the finish to the year. And that's why I'm so tuned into the finishes of these last few games. It looks like we're gathering, are poised about us and executing like we want to at the finish, which to me, those are microcosms of the big picture. We try to use the same mentality about finishing really well and being poised and trusting that you're prepared and you're ready to finish. If you've gotten to the point where the game's at hand right now, then you've done well. Just keep doing it, and so doing right longer is a really important aspect to finishing, and that's something that we're trying to teach constantly. It goes back to April, about finishing the drills, finishing the work, finishing the study, finishing the film work that you're doing. In all ways, I think you can practice a mentality of focusing, well, and so we'll see what happens. We're going to need it. It's a long haul here.
You mentioned the benefit of playing young guys earlier, specifically with Trey and Tedrick. Have they kind of progressed and developed in the ways you would hope when you were playing them early on?
Yeah, they're doing well. There's young guy play in them. You can see it. But they're learning. They're such good competitive guys. They care so much, and every single aspect of everything they're asking questions about, and they want to know. And they're taking notes and they're studying it's really, it's a pleasure to work with guys that care that much about learning, you know, and they want to know. They're so curious and hungry for the information, because they want to be great, and they want to, you know, do their part for their team and for all the right reasons. And so those guys are right on it.
Do you have any consultant status on the end zone celebrations to running back for the run?
No, they haven't really consulted with me yet, but they look like they might be running out of ideas. So I do have a couple, matter of fact. I won't share them with you. I won't tell you that I did until after we see how they look, in case they do it.
Do you notice when they're practicing those during practice?
Yeah. Matter of fact, every once in a while it gets caught on the practice film on the side and stuff. Yeah, there's some stuff that didn't make it off through the editing. You know, they're on the floor in the cutting room or whatever, for good reason.
Anything else?
Okay.
Thank you.
See ya.